we're going to experience those growing pains. Now it's inexperienced players.
Coach, I was wondering if you can tell us who the starting five will be Friday, and also who is the most improved player from last season to now.
Okay, if everything were to remain the same, and I don't know that, we'll probably start the same team we did against Florida Tech, which is Manu at the point, Garius Adams at the 2, Ryan Brown at the 3, Donovan Kirk at the 4, Tanya Jakiri at the 5. Davon Reed will sub at the 1, 2, and 3. Eric Swope will sub at the 3 and 4. James Kelly will sub at the 4 and 5. And Raphael will sub at the 4 and 5. So we have 9 guys, and then we'll be working with Steve Sorensen, a walk-on, Justin Heller, another walk-on, to see if we can prepare them to provide us any depth at all.
Coach, I saw a thing actually today, a story today.
Hold on one second. The most improved player
Yes.
from last year is probably Tanya.
Even though he's got more to come yet, but he's still.
Yeah, it's, you know, when you have, when you're trying to go from the 7th or 8th man on the team to an all ACC caliber, being in the top 5 or 10 players in the league and an NBA first round draft choice, that's a long ways to go. He is maybe a third of the way there. He has moved into a starting role, and hopefully he'll be a double-figure scorer, right? But to get to, from there to where I think he can get to, is going to take a lot more time.
No,
Sorry.
That's all right. Just saw a piece today where some coaches have run into problems with the new foul rule, or the way the game is called. Tremendous number of fouls, 70, even up to 90 game. I noticed that you didn't have that problem in this game, where it didn't show up in your exhibition game. Is that something you concentrated on, or is it approach any different there?
Well, every game is officiated differently because you have a different officiating crew. I think we did a good job the other night of staying out of foul trouble, although Ryan Brown picked up 4 fouls, which not good for us. So it's always been a point of emphasis in practice, and continue to be a point of emphasis throughout the season, trying to stay away from fouling. And the referees, they'll call it the way they see it.
Is it or a coaching technique that we're talking about, you know, as not as much reaching and checking, but you coach more moving your feet, don't you?
Well, we've always tried to play position defense and move our feet and not use our hands. We've always used our hands for deflecting passes. The coaches who have allowed their players to put their hands on the opponent sometimes gain a tremendous advantage because the referees don't call that. But that's not been one of our teaching points.
Coach, can you talked about Manu and Burnett some. Can you talk a little more about Davon Reed and what he might bring to the team?
Well, Davon, of all the freshmen and all the newcomers, is our best prepared to play our defense. I think he's had a lot of good days defensively. He's a little bit more aggressive defensively than the other guys, which is good, but it does have its shortcomings because he could get in foul trouble. Offensively, he's also a very versatile player, kind of a jack of all trades. He can play the 1, he can play the 2, he can play the 3. His natural position, had we had Shane Larkin back, DeAndre Burnett healthy, he probably would have played more at the 3 this year than any other position. But because we don't have Shane, we don't have DeAndre, he's going to play 1, 2, and 3.
Coach, can you talk about, other than Shane, that we know the other guys from last year, where they're playing?
Well, to update you, Shane should play next week. At least he'll be in uniform next week. He's practicing now and looks like he's full go very, very shortly. Julian Gamble is in France, doing very well. We talked to him the other day. Duran Scott is in Spain, doing well. Trey McKinney-Jones is in the D-League. Kenny Kaji was deciding between the D-League and Europe. And Reggie Johnson, I understand his name was on the draft list for the D-League, but I don't know if that occurred or not.
Delaware 78ers, 87ers.
What is it?
Delaware. Yeah.
So he got drafted by the Delaware
Second
team.
round, somebody.
So I don't know if he plans to do that or not.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank